Alright, hello and welcome to the third and final map of this episode of Recon missions. This is Foothills, and as you can see here, this is not a 1000 by 1000 meter map. This is 1200 by 1200. So instead of 1,000,000 square meters, you have 1.4 something million square meters. So it's actually quite a bit larger. You can see my my view range and spotting circles here. They don't cover all the map like you would see on a 1000 by 1000 meter map. Well, not all of it on a 1000 by 1000, but it would at least go from edge to edge if you spawn here. If you get what I mean. Anyway, I'm in a tier 8 tank. It's a tier 10 battle, although only 3 tier 10 tanks and 3 tier 9s in this match. So I'm in my 50 TP prototype, and this was my first battle on this map. It's not gonna last long, but I just want to show you this one position I'm going to here, which is inside of a tunnel. And I was looking around, kind of confused where is this going, and then I kind of figured it out. And here's one of those mounds that I've been talking about, where you can just sit behind and just kind of hide your hull and expose your turret. Even though my tank is just too low to make use of all of it, I kind of have to side scrape out a bit. And luckily, at least as far as I see it, there are not too many of these like rubble piles in the urban part of the map, because that is, in my opinion, the worst, like the least fun kind of meta in the game, is just sitting behind your little mound and trying to snipe at weak points on enemy tanks. And I am blocking a lot of damage, but I'm not really dishing it out. Because they can happily snipe at my weak points while I am sitting here trying to aim this gun. But anyway, I will be dead soon, and we will take a look at some other battles on this map. Checking out some other flanks. Okay, so this time in the light tank, the LT-432, the Russian premium. I don't have a good crew in it, and I'm not that good at playing light tanks to begin with. But I was curious to see how a light tank would work on this huge field here. As you can see here, this is my view range and spotting range circle. And I think I don't have a full camo crew on this tank. 2 of them are like 70% on their camo skill, and the commander doesn't even have it yet. But if you have 100% on all your crew members, and you have something like the low noise exhaust, and a tank with good camo value to begin with, like something like an ELC even 90, then it could maybe be possible to slip right through here. Like in between the view ranges of the enemies in the city and the enemies on this flank. So if they don't have anyone spotting you from the middle here, you might be able to slip through. But I don't have that kind of camo on this tank at the moment. And I'm probably being permalit by that ELC even 90 there. I am getting some spotting done, so that's good. And the enemy artillery tried to fire one of those high explosive rounds that do not stun, but do extra damage. But I blocked it. Because even though this is a light tank, it has some decent armor. Because it's made out of Soviet magic. So yeah, anyway, that was pretty much what I wanted to show you from this map. It doesn't really get that much more exciting in this battle. Although I'm just gonna point out that this is perhaps the map that looks the least finished out of the 3 new maps. You can see how little detail there is in this riverbed. And these cliffs here look like they are kind of like pre-made assets that were just pasted into the map. I'm gonna go all in on this batch at 12T here. I wasn't sure if it was loaded or not, but I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna take him with me. Yeah, this tank can ram other light tanks. It's quite fun. Anyway, on to the next game. Alright, let's try the Grille 15. The very lightly armored German sniping tier 10 tank destroyer. So first off, wanted to see if I could maybe catch a light tank out in the open here, but then I realized there are no light tanks in this match. So I will soon move to the western flank. Any minute now. There we go. Yeah, nothing to be done here. Let's go be productive somewhere else. And I will find myself a bush just behind these little rocks here. And yeah, let's just see what happens. So I'm thinking maybe I can get some shots on the enemy medium tanks in the bushes, just right in front of me, but they don't seem to be pushing into my field of fire. So I'm thinking, okay, someone is probably gonna try and advance up this river. So let's just be ready for that. Is someone gonna come? Or am I just waiting here in vain? This is the life of the Grille 15. And here we go. Enemy T110E4, American tier 10 semi-turreted tank destroyer. And he did not spot me after I fired. And now he spots me. Did he have binocs that engaged just as he stopped before he got stunned? Maybe. Anyway, he's dead now. So that's actually 2000 damage, because the last shot was a blind shot. Now let's advance up a little bit and support our medium tanks. I'm staying just at the end of their view ranges, so I don't think I get spotted here, even if I'm not in a bush. That Progetto is behind some hard cover, so he can't see me, but this guy pokes out, gets set on fire, and I got the kill because that last one hit point of damage was just tick damage from my fire. So yeah, not too bad. This is definitely a flank where you can use something like the Grillet, which is quite mobile, but has to stay just at the edge of the view range. Let's try a long range shot here on the AMX 50B. A good hit into the paper turret. So with my blind shot, I'm at like 4K, I think. Didn't quite hit the lower plate there. Okay, we got an E3. So that's 1 for 1. I'm thinking I'm not really gonna chance taking on an E3 from the front. Even though I can pen his lower plate with my kind of derpy gun handling, I'm not guaranteed to hit it. And he's guaranteed to just pen me wherever he aims, because I'm made of paper and cardboard. So let's just shoot him up the ass. That works. Is the artillery gonna reveal himself again? He was behind a rock when he was last spotted, so I didn't have a shot on him, and here he goes. And there he went. So that was it. With the blind shot, that was just around 6k damage. That's not a bad game in the Grillet. And it showed you how you can kind of advance along that flank. Of course, not every game is gonna be the same, and you might get taken out by snipers sitting near the enemy base, which you can see is quite, like, it's not to the all the way back. So you have sniper positions behind the base, and yeah, let's take a look at one more game and take a closer look at those bases. So, back again in the Löwe. And I'm going to the city. Even though it's a tier 10 game, there are not that many tier 10 tanks. And none of the tier 10s on the enemy team are heavy tanks. So they got one tier 10, tier 9 heavy tank. No, they don't. That's a CS59. From the like map icon, I thought it was a T10, but it's not. So no, none of their heavy tanks are higher tier than I. So I think I can do quite well in the city. We have a tier 9 heavy tank, the Motion. So I think that's what I was thinking, that we had a good chance of winning the city with our team composition. There are not that many people queued up to play the Recon missions. It's a different queue than the... Okay, I seem to have that turret bug again, plaguing the lava. So my gun is pointing straight ahead, even though that's not actually the case. Oh well. So I'm just gonna sit here. I didn't want to sit behind that other rock in the tunnel where I was in the 50 TP prototype. And here's an AMX AC 48, driven by a user by the name of Jake Paul versus Quickie Baby. That's a pretty funny username. That's I would pay to see that fight. So is it gonna come out again? Anyone else gonna come out? Or maybe I'm the one who needs to move. I don't really remember like the play-by-play of this match. But we do need to win this city fast because the other flank is crumbling. I didn't quite get the tracking shot on Mr. Jake Paul versus Quickie Baby. I was hoping I could maybe come out and flank that Visante, but Mr. Progetto is just out here. And the enemy platoon, made up by a player who's quite good, and another one from Face, which is one of the better clans on the server. So they are quite a threat, even though I have no problem penetrating them, because neither of them are driving especially heavily armored tanks. They can pretty much clit me out. Okay, so the city is more or less secured. Now it's time to go back and defend the base. Our Maushan did not get the memo, so he's trundling on with his almost full health hit point pool. And this is what I was kind of mentioned in the last match. From the city, you have like pretty good coverage of the base. So if you lose the open flank, but you hold the city, you don't really have to be too worried about getting capped out, because you can easily defend from the city. There are some buildings in the cap zone. Still have artillery alive though, and I would really have liked to see that Maushan helping to hold the city, because yeah, spoiler, we're gonna lose this match here. And someone are being quite angry in the chat. But I'm not gonna end this replay just yet, even though the writing is kind of on the wall, because just keep an eye on that E50M we have. He's almost dead, but he's gonna do some work before he goes, and both spotting and doing damage. Our artillery were good enough to relocate into the corner, where they are quite safe for now. I think this is just about the moment where those 2 enemy medium tanks in the platoon come out and deal with me. So the city is now pretty much lost again. It's just me kind of holding this edge of the city, but no one actually in the town. So yeah, here we go. Progetto and some artillery support, just to salt the wound. So I need to get Artie safe and try to find like a little bit better position. But no, I'm out. But we're gonna take a look at what that E50M is doing, because he found himself quite a useful position, which I just want to show you, because this is more about the maps than anything else. I'm gonna switch to the E50M viewpoint anytime now. Here we go. Yeah, the northern team has this, I think it's like a cathedral with some houses in front of it, and you have some of those windows and cubby holes that you can shoot from, and also cover the base, it looks like. So the southern team doesn't quite have this position, although they have another like tiny village down here. So the map isn't quite symmetrical. I don't know exactly if one team has an advantage over the other, and these positions here are only really relevant late game, so they're not like super dominant in the early and mid game, which is when the game is usually won and lost. But it's something to keep in mind. So yeah, you didn't see much of the city, but you're gonna see some of that tomorrow, because I'm giving you like an extra treat. Because I found out that yes, you can earn marks of excellency playing Recon mode. So we're gonna see some of that tomorrow. Some sweaty, try-hard action. Goodbye and take care.